The Suez Crisis 1956. The Suez Canal, a narrow strip of water in Egypt, yet one of the most important waterways on Earth. It connects the Mediterranean Sea with the Red Sea, saving weeks of travel between Europe and Asia. But in 1956, this canal became the heart of a global conflict. The Suez Crisis, the canal's beginning. The idea of linking the two seas is ancient. Pharaohs tried it, but the modern dream came in the 19th century. French engineer Ferdinand de Lesseps convinced Egypt's ruler said Pasha to build it. Work began in 1859, and after 10 years of hard labor, the canal opened in 1869. Money came mostly from French investors. Egypt also joined in. But when debts grew, Egypt's ruler, Khedive Ismail, sold his shares to Britain in 1875. From then on, Britain and France controlled the canal, while Egypt watched its own waterway slip away. Nasser's bold move. In 1952, the monarchy in Egypt fell, and a new leader rose, Gamal Abdel Nasser. Strong, proud, and nationalist, he wanted Egypt free from foreign control. On the 26th of July 1956, in Alexandria, Nasser made history. He declared, "The Suez Canal belongs to Egypt." Why? Because the canal was built on Egyptian soil, by Egyptian hands, and its wealth should serve Egyptians, not foreigners. Crowds cheered, but in London, Paris, and Tel Aviv, leaders were furious. The secret plan. Britain and France feared losing trade and power. Israel wanted to break Egypt's blockade. Together they made a secret deal, the Sevres Agreement. The plan: Israel would attack Egypt first, then Britain and France would step in, pretending to keep peace, but really to take the canal back. On the 29th of October 1956, Israel launched its assault. Soon after, British and French forces joined in. War had begun. The war. Israel advanced quickly through the Sinai Desert. British and French warplanes bombed Egyptian targets. But Egypt resisted. Nasser refused to surrender. Even with fewer weapons, his defiance inspired the Arab world. World reaction. The world watched in shock. The United States, under President Eisenhower, opposed the invasion. The Soviet Union threatened action if it didn't stop. The United Nations called for an immediate ceasefire. Under massive international pressure, Britain, France, and Israel had no choice. Within weeks, they pulled their forces out. Results and impact. Egypt's victory. The Suez Canal remained under Egyptian control. Nasser's glory. He became a hero of the Arab world and a symbol of independence. End of old powers. The crisis showed Britain and France were no longer world superpowers. Rise of new powers. The United States and the Soviet Union emerged as the true global players of the Cold War era. Conclusion. The Suez Crisis was more than a fight over a canal. It was the end of colonial dominance, the rise of Arab nationalism, and a turning point in the Cold War. From that moment, the Suez Canal stood not just as a waterway, but as a symbol of Egypt's pride and independence.